Hi, everyone. Welcome to Interactive English, which is a brand new show. It's actually the old show, but with a different name that I record every Wednesday. And it's a show where it's really a lesson. It's not a show. It's on YouTube. So it's kind of a show, but it's also a lesson where I teach one of my students from the Achievers Chamber or one of the members of the Achievers Chamber, which is a Discord group where you can work on your English, where you can take your English to another level. Today it's none other than Matthius. Hi, Matthius, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. And you are?
I'm okay, except I'm not happy about this long-winded introduction, but I can't do anything about that now because this is live. So yeah, that also means that you guys can get involved, and it's called Interactive English for a reason. Feel free to post comments as we do the show. By the way, today we are starting a little bit late because I was outside playing board games and I just couldn't make it earlier. So apologies for that. Matthius, today's topic is about your book. Your book because you're writing a book. Am I
Yeah.
right?
Yes, that's correct.
So first of all, how does it happen that high school high school students decides to write a book?
How does it happen? So, because my mind is really creative, so I kind of think of during my free times, mostly during classes, when I'm bored. I mostly think of scenarios. So I'm kind of doing this word building in my head. And because I was bored, so I decided to write it in a book because,
Hang on. Slow down. Most people, when they are bored, they play a game, or they watch a movie, or they play sports with friends, or they go for a drink or something. You decided to write a book.
yep.
How does that how does that
I
even
mean,
like happen?
so it mostly happened during my classes because I'd finished everything that I had to do for the day. I was bored. I couldn't do any of the fun activities that I wanted to do. So I decided that I actually wanted to write the book before, but I didn't get myself to do it. So I
Mhm.
had some free time. I got bored, so I wrote a book. Well, some pages of the book, but well, I started writing a book.
When you say it like I wrote a book, it's like it sounds very what's the word for it? Like a massive sort of thing to do, like a huge thing to do. Like you saying it like in a very laid back fashion, very
Yeah.
nonchalant in a nonchalant way. So
I mean, it's mostly just a few pages at the moment, but
mhm.
it's I mostly have the structure. It's mostly about me getting to do it because I don't have that much time because of the school and homework and getting to home late, so I cannot work on my book.
Mm.
So
Okay, so you say it's just a few pages. So walk us through the process of writing the first few pages. How do you even start? Like, do you first write the introduction, or do you have to sort of lay it out first? Do you make a plan, like some sort of mind map of different characters you're going to have in your book, or how does it even happen?
so I mostly had to decide what is going to happen. What are some time uh, key timelines,
Yeah,
key time
the
points,
storyline. Yeah,
yes, storyline,
yeah.
and so I kind of worked it out, made some points, and then I kind of figured out what would happen in that timeline, and basically the few pages that I have written are from the small little window,
Small
and
little window. Whoa.
yeah, a small little window of time.
Okay.
So but it's going to continue. There are going to be more plot twists. From what I have gathered from other people that actually read the book,
Mhm.
that the story is really good. It's just my um, it's just my English is not that good in there.
So,
They are
so you're
humans.
you're 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 giving me your you're now sharing the feedback that you got from people who have read your book.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So you have to work on your English. So why don't
yeah.
you like use Chat GPT to check
I mean,
your
I
English?
use it, but it's not that good. That's the thing.
What do you mean? Like, does it make it look too artificial, or
Not
the,
sure. There are
the
some parts that I
corrections?
don't. There are some
Uh,
parts that I don't like. That's the thing.
okay, so why don't you just ask for grammar correction instead? Or like, what sort of what's wrong with your English? Is it the cohesion, coherence? Is it the grammar, vocabulary? What's the issue? Spelling,
Um,
punctuation?
I, from what I have gathered, is that mostly A, N, and D are the main issue.
Come again?
A, N, and D. I use them in, well, I use them with with wrong words.
Oh, you were talking about articles. Sorry.
Yeah.
A, N, and the articles. Okay. Yeah, that's a tough thing for Slavic learners, right? So, I mean, we could go through that later. We could have a look at it a little bit, I guess. Could give you some basic tips. Yeah. So, okay, we still haven't sort of told our viewers what this book is about, right? So that's the kind of how do you start here? Like, okay, genre. What's the genre of the book?
It is a fantasy book,
High
laid in a.
fantasy, like high fantasy. Like, what's a high fantasy? Yeah, epic. Sometimes it's called epic fantasy. It's
Yeah,
like um, Game of Thrones. Yeah, the Song of Ice and Fire is an epic fantasy because the author created not only created the story but also the whole world, its lore, the different races, characters. Like it's more than just a story. It's a history, and the same with Tolkien, The Lord of the Rings. Same thing. These are high fantasies.
and this one is the same because I created the world and the story is happening in it, and I want to, with the story, explain how the world works and other meanings. Not sure
Mhm.
what what I'm getting to, but I think I explained it well enough
You want to explain how the world works
with the story.
with this story, how it ties into the story, how the story unfolds um, at the like at the backdrop of the world or something like that. Okay, so that's interesting. So, what? Sorry if I'm asking you some basic questions, but I'm also thinking of our viewers. So, if you say fantasy, should I imagine like goblins, trolls, and elves and wizards or something like that, or dragons?
Well, because this is a really different world, the main key difference is that there are not many races. There is only one race, and those are humans. For now, because later in the timeline we are going to get more races, but for now it's just humans. But it's mostly with magic, some gods you could say, and it
So
has
that's what
some.
makes it fantasy. Like what makes it fantasy is the element of magic, gods who have like supernatural powers, and
Yeah, that would be correct. Hi,
okay.
Helen.
Oh, Helen is in the comments. Okay, let's see. Hi, Helen. We're talking about Matthius's book now, so feel free to ask additional questions. Um, okay, what else should I ask you about then? How do you write the book? Like, what's the form? So, do you write in the third person? So, do you write from what's it called? POV, point of view, characters POV, or
Yeah, at this moment, I I'm at this moment the book is written in third person, but I want to get in some parts that are POV from the personal view.
Hmm. Okay. And so you're gonna mix it up a bit, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So let me ask you some questions to do with sort of technical aspects of writing a book. So what's the most challenging thing about writing a book, in your opinion?
Ooh. Well, it's mostly about thinking how to write some things because you have to explain it well enough for people for readers to actually understand it, but you don't want to explain it so much that it becomes too much because
Overwhelming, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So basically you need to strike the right balance between the storytelling aspect and description. Like you have to describe as well, right? Descriptions and explanations.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy writing the most? The descriptive part or the storytelling or dialogue? So are there any dialogues?
Yes, there are two dialogues.
Hmm.
Well, well, three. We have one in second chapter, which is between the four gods, which is probably the most challenging thing that you can do in writing, a four-person conversation.
Ah,
Yeah, it was kind of annoying to do, but I kind of got through it, but it's going to need some refinement. And then
okay.
there are two more in the fourth chapter, which is the chapter that the whole story actually starts. The first few were just mostly about explaining the plot twist, what was happening, and what happened, and what led to the point where the story began.
Where the story began. Yeah. Cool. So just going back to that question, what do you enjoy writing the most then? Which parts are the most enjoyable ones for you? Which are the easiest ones? Which are the toughest ones?
Well, all right. So the easiest ones are the storytelling, and the hardest part is um, the description, because
Mm,
the another problem that I have is not with English, but with how I tell the environment and similar things,
how
because
you
I'm
how you
mostly
yeah, how you describe it?
because
Mhm.
I'm mostly minimalistic. I try to keep my always in even in normal conversations. I try to keep my sentences simple, um,
Yeah.
short, and
It's very useful, but I
but
guess not when you're writing a fantasy book. Yeah.
yeah,
But it could
it
be
kind of
nice
gets
for
in the way.
mm, but some characters could have like this sort of demeanor, right? But like you don't want to be like that as a narrator, right? Which is part of
Yeah,
writing a book.
so
Yeah.
I'm
Mm.
trying to now actually get better at it. And I'm going to actually, when I have the time, I'm going to probably rewrite the four chapters that I have at the moment with the longer
Okay.
sentences, better
Yeah.
explaining, and
Yeah.
basically just these few. But it should increase the length
Mhm.
of the chapters by a lot.
Yeah. That's good, man. That's good. That's good. So the people who are in the Achievers Chamber, the members, yeah, I've talked about this on this YouTube channel many times. So they can have a look at the book, or did
They
you
can have
decide?
they can check it out. They can
Yeah.
also comment on it, but I did not get any comments yet, so I'm not sure if people forgot to comment or
Is it on a
yeah.
Google document, or is it in a Google document?
Yeah,
Where did you write it?
it's in a Google document.
Would you like me to share it uh, below this video as well for the people who are watching this YouTube? Do you? Or is it maybe too early for that?
Yeah, I think it's too early.
Yeah, it's true because in the Achievers Chamber we kind of know each other, so it's more like a family environment. So it's more forgiving, maybe. The YouTube people can
Y-
be. You don't know who is watching, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know about all the followers, and some of them write comments, but some of them are quiet. So it's a bit impersonal, yeah, and slightly scary at times because you don't know who is watching and what they think about what you do. And so I totally understand. I can relate to that as well, Matthius. And just maybe just wait for the second or third version, and when you're more confident about what you've written, I guess. You said it to yourself that you expect it to be rewritten or certain parts to be rewritten, and
Yeah.
yeah, like you want to embellish it, you want to fine tune it, I suppose. That would be the annoying part for me? Yeah, that would be the. I like when I can be creative and when I can sort of like come up with the idea, and when it's come. Okay, maybe I haven't written a book like you, but I've made a game. I've made this game, Kingdoms of Deceit. So I
Yeah.
remember it's kind of similar. It's a creative process. But then, like when you have to balance the game, that's not so much fun. So I always enjoy like making the new abilities for the new characters and coming up with new characters. But then, like when people started telling me where all these little errors are and typos, and that's like grinding. And it's more like uh, the
I
annoying
mean,
fluff you have to do as well.
it's it's I think it's a bit different because I actually want to try to make this book good, and if people have some comments on some parts, I can change those parts. And if
Yeah,
p- and it kind of depends. If one person tells me that one part is not that great, I can look at it, decide on my own. But when a lot of people decide that
yeah,
one part has to be somehow redone, so I'm going to look through it. I I still have the final say because it's my book, but I
yeah. Of
can
course.
take some advice from people. And
But that's the thing, man. But that's the thing. Like, what kind of you have to ask this? Yeah. So, what sort of people are even reading the book? So, are these your friends? Because there is a different dynamic. Trust me. Are
yeah,
these people your friends? Are these people who want to help you with the writing process? Maybe a teacher, English teacher, or is it someone who is like a writing coach? Or are these people? Are these some random people? Are these people that like fantasy? Are these people who don't read books or who read books? I think it's always different, like what sort of feedback you get. And
yeah,
it's you just need to decide like what's important for you, who you should listen to, who you should ignore, who you should just, well, you can't like ignore them. Like, you're happy people give you feedback, but at the same time it can be toxic as well. Like, I've been through that as well. Like,
yeah.
like met so many people.
That's why I only gave it to people that I trust and that I
Right.
am friends with.
Yeah, but that's the problem of it sometimes, because I'm now talking from my own experience doing podcasts and creating that board game. The problem of it is that if you only share it with your very good friends, they don't want to hurt your feelings. Yeah, so they can't always tell you what they think, or they will say it in a different way than
Um,
than a person who doesn't know you would. I'm not saying it's always like that. It could be the other way, that they are very critical. They are, on the other hand, very critical because they like you and they want to be honest with you. So, and what I'm saying is that there's a completely different dynamic if you just let someone, like a stranger, have a look at it. It's completely different, I think.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
you should
from
try
what I
both.
gathered, actually, when I asked for people what are the worst parts, they always said the exact same things. The grammar of the well
Yeah,
articles, the sentences are not so describeful. There are some parts that are really good,
descriptive. Yeah, descriptive.
descriptive. There are some parts
Mhm.
that they want more of, and there are some parts that are described too much.
Okay.
And it kind of converges on the same points. So I think as long as it's not hurtful for a story, like people don't like the story because
Yeah.
it can happen sometimes. But from what I have gathered is that the story is really good. It just needs to be written well.
The articles is like it can be fixed, right? It's just articles. They can be
Yeah.
fixed. There are rules. Some of the rules are not very clear, or they overlap, and definitely it's just a bit weird. Like articles are a bit weird, but once you get the hang of it, like it's usually like some sort of reference, like referencing to something that happened in the past. Sometimes it's like a generic reference. Sometimes it's just like classification. There are like a series of rules about articles. So yeah, like I said, like if you want later, we can have a look at it quickly and see if I can help you a little bit. And yeah, okay. Do you guys have any questions? Because today's live has to be a little bit shorter because I've got a pronunciation lesson in the Achievers Chamber. Every Wednesday we do pronunciation lesson at 7 p.m. Central European time. How do we do that? Very simple. I usually give the Achievers Chamber members some questions to discuss, or I let them read a piece of text, and then I make notes about their pronunciation, similar to what I'm doing while talking to Matthius here. And then I give them feedback, and we talk about how we could improve um, word stress, sentence stress, pronunciation of individual sounds, linking, aspects of connected speech. I'm just using my expertise as a teacher, and it focuses on pronunciation. Right. So that's why this one has to be a little bit shorter. But is there anything else, Matthias, that you think we should add? Anything I should have asked you about and I didn't?
I don't think there is anything relevant at the moment.
Yeah.
I think we said all of the basic things about the book.
Hmm.
Because if we went to details, then we would be here for maybe be a few hours.
Yeah. So what is the best thing about writing your own book then? What keeps you going? What keeps you going?
Well, it's mostly because I have like my creative thinking is on such a level when I cannot like create new things, I cannot imagine new things that I'm actually getting insane. I think. Yeah.
Welcome to the club. Yeah, there are more insane people hovering in this space. It's not just you and me. Some crazy people are watching this. I'm not gonna name them, but we are part of one bigger family. I think it's nice. It's too many people are boring, right? So even if you're a little bit insane, you've got something about you.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, and then other people can also benefit from it. The people who, because when you write the book, you don't always write it for you don't just write it for yourself, right? The idea is that, okay, maybe there are some people who might want to read it as well.
Yeah. It's about about sharing the story.
Exactly. Exactly. So you said that, how many pages do you have right
I
now?
have I think after I kind of make it, I think I have like 9 pages.
Nine
It
pages.
Yeah, 3,200 words.
3,000. Okay, 9 pages in like Microsoft Word,
Yeah.
something like that. Okay. And what's the font size?
I think it's not sure if it's 14 or 12.
Okay. Um, right. So how many pages are you planning? How many more pages are you planning? How long will the book be? Will it be like an format of a novel or short story or
I think it's going to be probably a novel because
novel?
I
So,
because I'm probably expanding like the end of one timeline, so it has to be somewhat long. And I
mhm,
also
mhm.
want to explain the word and stuff.
Okay. Well, good luck with this effort. I think it's very cool. it's also something I admire you, because I don't think I could do this myself. Like, what's the closest to this I have done? So sometimes I would write scripts for my podcast, but I would say 98, 97, 98% of my podcasts are unscripted. I just do an interview with someone. I'm talking about Zdenek's English podcast. These YouTube videos are definitely unscripted, although I may have done like one or two which were partially scripted. Yeah, so that's that. And yeah, so I admire this, because it's like you have to have a lot of patience writing things down. And so, just to finish my point, I got lost a little bit in my thoughts there. It's 1 a.m. almost in the morning here for me here in Vietnam. But the closest I did to what you are doing right now is writing the rules for my board game for Kingdoms of Deceit. Because it's also, you also have to write it in the right way. And I'm a board game designer amateur, right? So there are experts who write rules for board games. Even the people who come up with the games, they hire the rule writers for them. So it's its own skill, writing the rules. So yeah, but I learned a few things, and I kept making it better. But it's also kind of, especially if you go for a big game like I did, yeah, it's just like a heavy game with a lot of rules, and it gets a bit uh, overwhelming for you too, and you can get lost in it. So it should be simple, straightforward, easy to follow.
Yeah.
It wasn't always the case. I'll
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least what I made with my book is that the plot twist is not somewhere else. It's right on the first chapter. So people
Mm.
can read the first chapter. Oh, that is something interesting. I want to read
So it's
more.
like a
So
hook. It's like a
yeah,
hook. You have a good
yeah,
hook there.
yeah, I have a
Okay.
good hook, and a lot of people said that it's actually a really good hook, and they wanted to read more, but they kind of stopped because they saw something else to do. So, but they
Okay.
wanted to come back.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. That's what a hook should do. A good hook should do, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope some people, that I'm gonna make a terrible joke now. Yeah. I hope some people have a butcher's hook. It's a Cockney rhyming slang. If you guys didn't get it, yeah. I hope some people have a butcher's hook once you release the book. Um, should I explain this? So a butcher's hook is Cockney rhyming slang, and it means to have a look. So yeah, don't worry about the joke. Some of my jokes are like that. Yeah, they're dad jokes or no jokes at all. Um, yeah. So Matthius, like a little bit of feedback before I go. Yeah,
I suppose the usual stuff.
yeah, yeah. It is the usual stuff. You're right. I just noticed some pronunciation there. So have a look. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So okay, let me just pull this up. Pull this up. Right. So these two words. What is the sound? What is the first vowel sound? This O. How should you pronounce it?
This oh oh oh
Like work. Oh,
work
no, it's not.
walk.
Oh, it's a long vowel sound, Matthias, yeah, and it is this sound, exactly this sound. It's like the symbol for it is kind of like number 3 with 2 dots, and
Yeah.
this is the key sound that you have to kind of nail in order to sound more natural. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're. This is the sound when we hesitate, or when we are thinking about something, and we want to buy
All right.
ourselves more time. And like some speakers, not so good public speakers, they would make this sound in order to gain more time, right?
Alright.
Yeah. So
So like
try it.
work, word,
Work, work,
work,
work.
work.
Better, better. Now the r sound, if it's British English, there is no r sound. So you just say work, work. There's
Work.
no r. If you want to sound more American, you would say work, work, work. Okay?
Okay.
Whichever one suits you more, go for that. If you want to sound more British or American, that's up to you. I don't think it matters, but don't say work. Don't say work. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Work. All right. How about the next one then?
Uh, world, world.
Yeah, you see, you're getting there. Much better. Much better.
Yeah.
World. Yeah. World.
World.
World. Okay. You can ignore that R sound like in British English. Right. The second little issue is the W sound. Right. We have already talked about this before. So it's not want. It's not
Want.
but it's what. Like when you're
Wa-
kissing, like
Want.
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 You have to round your lips, basically.
Yeah.
Want. Yeah. Okay. So how would you read this sentence then?
I want to explain how the world works. Yeah. How
Yeah,
the
almost.
world world. All
It's
right.
like a tongue twister. This one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on. Try it again.
I want to explain how the world works. Works.
Super. Very good. Very good. Yeah. So maybe this is a sentence for you to drill a little bit. Yeah. So whenever you have a little bit of time, you want to practice these sounds because these are key sounds that you see. There's a pattern. There's a little bit of a pattern in you mispronouncing these sounds. Yeah. So it's the W sound, and it's this sound. And if you drill this sentence, maybe that there's like a lot of these sounds. There are a lot of these sounds in one sentence, right? So you could repeat it to yourself a few times, and that might help you internalize it. How about this?
There is only one race.
So here the sound. What's the sound here?
One.
So it's not van, but it's one. One.
One.
Yeah. Same W sound again. One. Okay. How about this?
Third.
Okay, so this is the th sound, the
Yeah.
third. Sorry, no. Yeah, there's also actually here. Third. Yeah.
Third.
But it
Third.
starts with this crazy sound. The dental sound.
Th-
Third.
th- Third.
Your tongue must touch your upper teeth.
Yeah,
Third.
I'm trying to do that, but it's
Okay. How
third.
about here?
Third.
How about here? Here you have it
Fourth.
at the end, yeah?
Fourth. Fourth.
Fourth.
Fourth.
Fourth.
Fourth.
Fourth. Sorry, not that. Fourth. This TH is at the
Fourth.
end here.
Fourth.
Not fourth, but fourth.
Fourth. Fourth.
Okay. I mean, what have I done? How do I get rid of that? Oh my
I'm
goodness.
just disabled the underlying because
Yeah, I should do that, right? Maybe that might help.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for your advice. Now, how do you pronounce this?
Well enough.
Well enough, yeah. How about this one?
Where?
No, it's were actually. I sometimes mispronounce this one myself, to be honest. Were, not where.
Where?
Were,
Where?
or sometimes it's just were.
Where?
But it depends. If it's the main verb in the sentence, like we were there, It's were, but sometimes it's part of past tense, like past continuous tense. We were walking. You would just say were. We were walking. We were walking. Yeah, but don't say where, because where it would be this word. Yeah,
Yeah.
where. So this one is were, and that the other one
Uh,
is where. It's like share, care. So it's a different sound. And how do you pronounce this?
the worst,
Yep, very
the
good.
worst parts,
The worst
the
part. Yeah,
worst.
yeah, nice one. So hopefully, Matthius, this has been useful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for taking part in this interactive English lesson. Thanks, Helen, for making your lovely comments. And if you guys enjoyed this one, um, give us a like, or give this YouTube channel a like, because it's gonna help other people see it. That's how the algorithm works. And that's what all the people who have a YouTube channel have to do. They have to ask their audience to like their content, because people don't do it enough. Basically, they don't realize that this is the this is the main sort of the main thing we need to keep going,
Yeah.
the main motivation for us as well to record more videos. So anyway, enough of that. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Matthius. Take care, everyone, and I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah. See ya.
Good luck with your book as well, by the way, Matthius.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Fingers crossed. All right, bye.